guys, I was thinking that maybe it would be a good time killer to just practice doing a tattoo right now. I usually do this. I do it rarely now just because of the clay and the paintings that I rather do. But you know, I feel like it would be cool to just show you guys me, like a time lapse of me doing a tattoo, you know. I could go further into like my practice skins that I have, and then also this book of all the references or whatever you call them. All of those I could show you guys in probably a different video, but for now I'm going to be doing this one that I was going to do a couple months ago. Right now, you know, it's just gonna be a quick little thing, like just before I, you know, call it a day. So yeah, hopefully you guys like the time lapse. Okay guys, I'm just applying the stencil stuff so that I could be able to stick on to the fake skin properly. I usually place it on there and leave it for like about a minute just so that it could be able to dry on there and stick better, but I mean it still works either way when I leave it for like a couple seconds and then take it off. Also a tip, try not to rub it like I'm doing right now just because it would smudge. Just like tap it on there. It's like the best way. I don't know if it's just me, but I like to start from bottom to top just because I know when I wipe the ink off, I don't want to like smudge the stencil off and accidentally just like lose my place. So I feel like it's the safest to start from bottom to top, and it makes it quicker for me and easier for me. And yes, once again, we're using the same needles that we always use, which is the 3-round liner and the 13-round magnum. I always stay stocked on those, you already know. So that's the ones we're gonna use today for this tattoo. I was thinking, since this is a pretty decently long time-lapse video, that I can just chat with you guys for a bit. I have many tattoo stories that I'd like to talk about, but for this video, I guess I'll just stick to one topic, which I was thinking about just talking about how I got into practicing it. So basically, when I was around 18 years old, my brother was wanting to get a tattoo for himself, and he really wanted me to do it on him because I mean, I already had the artistic skills, obviously, but he wanted to make me draw on him permanently. And he was like, basically just like, I'll get you the stuff, you just practice on me. And of course, I started off with the stick and poke, which is honestly, it's kind of harder than the actual machine itself just because it requires so much patience. And I don't think I had a good form at all in how I was doing it. Like in my past videos that I'd see, that it just, I don't know, I feel like I was going a bit too deep. And then obviously I wasn't really good at all just because I wasn't educated on it and I wasn't taking the time to learn about it that much. I was just working on them and was just saying, oh, we'll see how it looks after. But either way, it was bad that I wasn't wearing gloves and I was pretty much not really sanitary at all. But I mean, I still learned, and I mean, it was my brother, so it's okay. And I'm not really sure exactly how long I was doing stick and poke for, but after a while of doing that, they were just thinking about getting me a machine instead so that I can up my practice and get better, which is so nice of them because It is really expensive. Now that I actually have to buy all the equipment myself, it's so expensive. But I still use the exact same machine that they bought me till this day. And even when Danny bought me one, which was the gold trim one, I love that one so much. But that one just started rattling a lot louder, and I still don't know how to fix it. And I don't know, it would be kind of pricey to repair it. So basically the first one I ever used is still in good condition and has lasted a lot longer basically. Yes, I say the Ambition brand is my favorite, just cause I don't know, I got used to it. And I tried a different machine that my teacher got me, which I'll get into that story later. But it was in the kit that he gave me for my class, and I still have that one. It's a lot skinnier and easier to handle, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. So the Ambition is my favorite brand of the tattoo machines right now. So anyways, I've been working with the machine for almost 4 years, 3 years something, I believe. And I'd say I've gotten a lot better, but it was really, really hard at first, just because when I actually wanted to learn about it and I looked up YouTube videos and I followed people on Instagram and made my whole profile just to be able to focus on it 100%, like it just got harder and harder the more I looked into it, because like going into it, I just thought it was a needle, like basically a needle on a stick, and I just draw on people like a pencil. But it just went so much further than that, because I had to learn like the voltage, like the stroke. I had to learn the different cartridges and what each needle does, and then I had to learn like different types of shading, like stipple shading, cross hatching, all of that stuff. And I just thought it would be simple, but now that I actually was learning for a long time about it, and like it was just getting a lot more complicated. But I did my best to look up people that I could ask for help, and it kind of worked, cause I remember DMing some tattoo artists that I followed on my tattoo account, and I would just basically text them, tell them that, asking them for advice and seeing if they had a similar situation. And like basically I was letting them know that I was a beginner and wanted to know how I could get better. And some of them got back to me. Shout out to them, because they were really nice and sincere, and they actually gave pretty good advice, and it just gave me hope, knowing that I could get better, and I just need to just put the time and the work in. So apart from that, asking for advice, I did my research, I watched videos, and my brother would let me tattoo him almost like every week or every month. And we would just, I would basically just get my practice in from constantly tattooing him, and also my other brother. And then after that, thankfully I got my sister to trust me enough to let me tattoo on her too. So I had a lot of practice, because my sister liked more feminine, dainty looking ones, like the letter ones, scripts. So I practiced on those with her. And then both of my brothers, they liked basically whatever, and I could practice my shading on them. So yes, I got a lot of practice just by them being very good people and just letting me work on them, even when I was a beginner. And as the rule goes, since they let me practice on them when I was a beginner, they forever have free tattoos. And now that I get better and better every day, they can just, we could just set up an appointment. They could get one for free if they want, since they did that sacrifice for me. So with all that practice, I finally made that jump to further my learning, and I searched up people that do tattoo training basically, and I was on Instagram searching, and I came across my teacher, which I'll put their picture right here, their @ and basically I just set up a class appointment. Even though for me at that time it was quite a bit of an investment, but I still did it obviously because I knew that I would get that money back with the lessons that I'll learn in person. And I remember still the day that I went to go to the class, my brother was dropping me off and I was extremely nervous because since I have very bad social anxiety, I was just overthinking it for like a whole month since I planned it. But you know, it was a big step, so I knew that I had to overcome the nervousness and just get it over with. But you know, it just all went away. The nervousness went away when I got there because he was the sweetest person ever, and he was so helpful and like so wise, you know, because he had 20 plus years of experience, so he definitely taught me a whole lot, and he's one of the coolest people I've ever met. And not to toot my own horn or anything, but he did say I was one of the fastest and easiest to work with just because, you know, I had that experience and that practice already. And, you know, I basically did all my work before going in because he usually just teaches people who are straight beginners. But at that time, I was maybe about already a year of practicing. So definitely that was good. But yeah, anyways, it was a very fun class. He taught me a lot. Definitely recommend. And I got my first certificate from him. But I finally could tattoo other people other than my family. And right after I finished that class, I remember immediately I started getting people that I already promised to tattoo beforehand, that until I get my certification that I'll be able to tattoo them. They were DMing me, which is one of my happiest moments, that I finally got to tattoo strangers, and not strangers, but you know, not people that aren't my family. I finally got to tattoo them and do more work and get more into like my critical thinking and, you know, the brainstorming of what other people want other than already knowing off the bat what my siblings wanted all the time. So yeah, it was another step of me challenging myself. And a little after getting the certificate, I remember that's when I started to focus on wanting to make my own little space to practice. And that's around the time when we moved out of my old apartment, we moved in with my sister's dad. And I remember he had like a shed that he was using, but it was, you know, I just saw potential in it. And that's where I made my first video on here of me transforming it into a little workspace. So I used that as my space to be able to do art and to practice tattoos and then invite my friends over to do tattoos. So even though it was really, really small and they saw, I mean, there's like barely any space for them to walk around or anything. It was just made for 2 people at most. But I made it work, you know. I kept getting up at 5 a.m. to go in there and practice. And I put in a lot of hard work trying to get better fast just so that I could be able to work at the shop that I was trained in, because that was a goal that I set for myself. I said I didn't want to work at that fast food job that I had, so I was going to put in a lot of work to be able to put myself in a better position, you know. And indeed, after practicing for about a year in total after I had the certificate, so I already had maybe 2.5 years experience. They got in contact with me and I went to go work with them, which was one of my happiest moments, knowing that I achieved that goal a lot faster than I expected, because I remember I wanted it to be by the end of the year, and it was right by like 3 months in the year, so I got to, achieve that goal fast. But sadly, it came to an end because I was struggling with a lot of issues, like family issues, and apart from getting kicked out of the house, well, not really kicked out, because we had like a couple months we already knew, but I didn't have a long time to think about where I was gonna go. So like having the job that I had, it wasn't really stable. It wasn't busy most of the time, and when it was just for a little bit, and I would be there all day basically, so I didn't really see it as a job that I wanted to do forever, so I had to leave, sadly. But I did learn my lessons, and I reached the goals that I knew that I could do because they're possible. And I love just doing this on the side because I feel like I want to do something else full-time that wouldn't take too much of my day, but I still love tattooing in general. And I could tell you guys a little bit more stories about when I was in the shop, probably in another tattoo session video. But yeah, that's basically the story of how I was practicing and got into the shop, and how long it took me to be able to get into a shop. So yeah, I hope you guys like this kind of video. Apart from my art and chat videos, I could just do a tattoo and chat, maybe make it relate to only tattoos. If not, it will be the same thing as the art and chat videos. But yeah, I really hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys like the end product of what I worked on today. So yeah, keep in touch for the next video related to tattoos or art or vlogs.